Throughout American history, countless individuals have left a lasting impact on society through their faith, actions, and service. Among them, saints hold a unique position as figures of profound spiritual influence and moral guidance. These holy men and women not only shaped the religious landscape of the United States, but also inspired social reform, education, and charity that continue to resonate today. In this video, we explore the lives and legacies of 7 saints whose influence helped shape the spiritual and cultural fabric of American history. Let's start with number 7, Saint Isaac Jogues and the North American Martyrs. Picture this. It's the early 1600s, and a group of Catholic missionaries leaves the comfort of Europe to travel to the wild, uncharted lands of North America. Their mission? To bring their faith to the indigenous people. But this wasn't a walk in the park. These missionaries faced brutal conditions, extreme weather, disease, and even capture and torture by native tribes. At one point, Isaac Jogues had his fingers cut off. Can you imagine the pain? But here's the crazy part. After escaping and returning to Europe, he didn't stay there. He went back to continue his mission. These men were the pioneers of Catholicism in America, and their sacrifices laid the groundwork for the faith to grow. Their story is a powerful reminder of what it means to stand firm in your beliefs, no matter the cost. Next up at number 6 is Saint Junipero Serra, the man who brought Catholicism to California. Born in Spain, Junipero felt a calling to become a missionary. He traveled to the New World and founded a series of missions along the California coast. These missions weren't just churches, they were entire communities. They provided education, healthcare, and a place for people to come together. But Junipero's journey wasn't without controversy. His work with Native Americans is still debated today, but one thing is clear. His dedication to spreading the faith shaped the spiritual and cultural landscape of California. Here's a fun fact. Junipero Serra walked thousands of miles to establish these missions, even though he had a chronic leg injury. That's the kind of determination we're talking about. Coming in at number 5 is Saint Frances Xavier Cabrini, also known as the Mother of Immigrants. Born in Italy, Frances felt a calling to serve the poor and marginalized. When she arrived in the United States, she was shocked by the conditions faced by Italian immigrants. But instead of just feeling bad, she took action. She founded the Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart and built schools, hospitals, and orphanages across the country. Her work gave hope to thousands of immigrants who were struggling to build a new life in America. Here's the kicker. Frances originally wanted to be a missionary in China, but the Pope told her, no, go to America instead. And thank goodness, she did. Her legacy of compassion and service continues to inspire people today. At number 4, we have Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton, the first native-born American saint. Elizabeth's life is a story of resilience, faith, and transformation. Born into a wealthy Episcopalian family in New York in 1774, she grew up in high society, but her life took a dramatic turn when her husband, William, fell ill with tuberculosis. In a desperate attempt to save him, the couple traveled to Italy, where William eventually passed away. During her time there, Elizabeth was introduced to Catholicism, and something about the faith deeply moved her. When she returned to America, she made the bold decision to convert to Catholicism, a move that cost her friends, family, and social standing. But Elizabeth didn't let that stop her. As a widowed mother of 5, she founded the Sisters of Charity, the first American religious community for women. She also established the first Catholic schools in the U.S., including the St. Joseph's Academy and Free School in Maryland, which laid the foundation for Catholic education in America. Elizabeth's life is a testament to the power of faith and perseverance. She turned her personal struggles into a legacy that continues to impact millions of students and families today. Coming in at number 3 is Saint Damien of Molokai, a man who truly lived the phrase, "No one is left behind." Born in Belgium in 1840, Damien felt called to serve as a missionary in Hawaii. But he didn't just preach, he went to the most dangerous place imaginable, the leper colony on the island of Molokai. At the time, leprosy, now called Hansen's disease, was a terrifying and misunderstood illness. Those who contracted it were exiled to Molokai, where they lived in isolation, often without proper care or hope. When Damien arrived in 1873, he was horrified by the conditions, but instead of turning away, he rolled up his sleeves and got to work. He built homes, churches, and even a water system. He treated the sick, bandaged their wounds, and gave them dignity. But what truly set Damien apart was his willingness to live among the people he served. He didn't just visit, he became one of them. In 1885, after 12 years of service, Damien contracted leprosy himself. But even as his health declined, he continued to serve, saying, "I am a leper among lepers." He died in 1889, leaving behind a legacy of unconditional love and sacrifice. Damien's life is a powerful reminder of what it means to love without limits, even when it costs everything. At number 2, we have St. Catherine Drexel, a woman who used her privilege to create change. Born in 1858 into one of the wealthiest families in America, Catherine could have lived a life of luxury. But instead, she chose to dedicate her life to serving Native Americans and African Americans, communities that were often ignored and oppressed. Catherine's awakening came during a family trip to the western United States, where she witnessed the poverty and injustice faced by Native Americans. Deeply moved, she decided to use her family's fortune to make a difference. She founded the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament, a religious order dedicated to serving these marginalized communities. Over her lifetime, Catherine established over 60 schools and missions, including Xavier University in New Orleans, the first Catholic university for African Americans. She also fought tirelessly for racial equality, often facing opposition and even threats for her work. But Catherine never wavered. She believed that education was the key to breaking the cycle of poverty and injustice. Her legacy is a powerful example of using what you have to make a difference. She didn't just talk about justice, she lived it. At number 1, we have St. John Neumann, a trailblazer for the Catholic Church in the United States. Born in 1811 in what is now the Czech Republic, John felt called to serve as a missionary in America. He arrived in New York in 1836 and was ordained a priest shortly after. John became known for his tireless work, traveling on foot to serve immigrant communities in rural areas. In 1852, he was appointed the 4th Bishop of Philadelphia, where he made groundbreaking contributions. He founded the first Catholic diocesan school system in the U.S., setting a standard for Catholic education nationwide. He also introduced the 40 hours devotion, a practice of continuous prayer before the Blessed Sacrament, which became a cornerstone of American Catholic spirituality. Despite his achievements, John remained humble, dedicating his life to serving the poor and marginalized. St. John Neumann was canonized in 1977, becoming the first American male saint. His legacy lives on in the schools, parishes, and communities he built, inspiring generations to live out their faith through service.